Good. Madam Clerk, continue.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Honorable members, again under this order number, we have one notice of motion to be moved by the Honorable Cosmas Kieti.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. I want to read the notice of motion for the Committee on Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization Committee. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Section 104(1) of the County Governments Act 2012 provides that a county government shall plan for the county and no public funds shall be appropriated outside a planning framework developed by the County Executive Committee and approved by the County Assembly. Aware that Section 106(2) of the same Act stipulates that county plans shall be based on the functions of the county governments as specified in the 4th schedule of the Constitution and on relevant national policies. Aware that Section 107(2) of the County Governments Act further stipulates that the county plans shall be the basis for all budgeting and spending in a county. Further aware that Section 126(3) of the PFM Act requires the County Executive Committee member responsible for planning to submit the development plan to the County Assembly for its approval and send a copy to the Commission on Revenue Allocation and the National Treasury. Cognizant that the Annual Development Plan ADP 2020-2021 was submitted to the County Assembly by the Department of Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization on 1st September 2020, after which it was committed to the Committee on Trade, Economic Planning and Innovation and Industrialization for scrutiny and eventual approval by the House. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give notice of motion that this House discusses and approves the report of the Trade, Economic Planning and the Industrialization Committee on the Annual Development Plan 2021-2022. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Cosmas Kieti. Madam Clerk, proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Proceed.
Order number 8, motions and bills.
Honorable members, during the morning session, the Honorable Stephen Mwanthi read the report on the Machakos County Finance Bill 2020, Machakos County Bill number 4, and we proposed the question, and as was agreed during the morning session, we were to continue with the debate. We had given honorable members time to go and have a look at the report so that we can be able to debate this afternoon. I therefore welcome honorable members to hear their views in as far as this specific bill is concerned. Honorable Justus Katumo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity given. I'm Honorable Justus Katumo. I want firstly to begin by thanking the committee and the chair for really presenting this report in a well-elaborated manner. Going through the report, there are things that I have to note that I've seen actually being faced with that difficult time of COVID-19 and businesses not doing very well. I've seen generally the report has been very specific in trying to empower and encourage our small sector to pick from where they lost. And most of these charges and fees have been reduced marginally to make sure that they pick from where they lost and they be able to stand on their feet. And therefore, I want to thank the committee for giving that consideration and taking into account that most of the businesses and most of our small businesses are not doing very well. And I think going forward with this finance bill, I think the amendments and the changes that have been made, considering what we did last year, financial year, I think they have an opportunity to pick and stand up. Secondly, going through, I've seen most of the recommendations made from various area of public participation, where members of public wanted, of course, to be given an opportunity to express themselves and request the county government to be considerate. And I think the committee, in writing its report, final report, I think they have given a lot of consideration. And my question is whether with such reductions, with that changes that we have made, whether we will be able to get to the target of our own revenue collection. And therefore it's important because we budget for the same with the targets in mind. And therefore, but it is impressive, it is well thought of, and of course it is bottom-up approach through public participation, and I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Justus Katumo. Honorable Justus Kiteng'u.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Justus Kiteng'u, MCA Kivaa Ward, and Deputy Majority Leader. Honorable Speaker, although I belong to the committee, I would like also to thank or applaud the committee for the good job of this report. Honorable Speaker, it took really time for us to come up with this document, and I must say that we tried to cater for the real Mwananchi. Honorable Speaker, as you understand that 2020, it was a hectic year, and Honorable Speaker, we all witnessed that a lot of our businesses closed down. Also, Honorable Speaker, the time for our business also was limited because of the COVID-19. And Honorable Speaker, as we have gone through the report, all of us, we must attest that we have catered for the Mwananchi and trying to cater for what we lost last year, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what I would like to say in general is, Honorable Speaker, it seems 2021 we are all back to normal in our businesses, but Honorable Speaker, the county government or Department of Finance and the Inspectorate, they have now started serving our business people with the notices of payment so that they can be able to pay permits for last year, Honorable Speaker. What I would like to urge you, the House and the committee, is that we need to alert the Finance Department, the Revenue Department, that what the report states is that we start the payments of this year. The payments of the last year, Honorable Speaker, we must accommodate ourselves together with the situation of the last year and now begin this financial year, trying to attain and follow this report. So as we pass the finance bill, of the next finance bill, Honorable Speaker, let's all talk to our people that they don't go ahead and make payments for the licenses of last year, because, Honorable Speaker, last year we came across a lot of difficulties because of the COVID-19 which strikes our country and entire world, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Justus Kiteng'u. Honorable Moses Mitaa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Moses Mitaa, representing Kangundo Central Ward residents. I first want to applaud the committee under the chairmanship of Honorable Stephen Mwanthi for coming up with the Finance Bill 2020, which will guide us, or else which will guide our business community in the coming financial year, Honorable Speaker. Being in agreement with my colleagues that last year, being the COVID year, most of businesses were affected, jobs were lost, and Honorable Speaker, I think one thing which this committee have noticed
is that it has come up with a short-term solution, at least to cushion our business people on the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have been invited to this committee once, and what I noticed is that considerations of our business people was taken care of during the time I was there, and it was as a result of the public participation which had already been taken. So, Honorable Speaker, mine is to request the county executive, the implementing arm, to take into consideration our recommendations so that they don't pass the burden to our business people. Because, Honorable Speaker, we have been seeing, or else we have been receiving reports of our people who have been affected. And actually, one thing I would request the committee through the chairmanship of Honorable Stephen Mwanthi is to publicize actually when our business people need to face arrests and being taken to courts. Because, Honorable Speaker, I believe there is a deadline when they are supposed to be given, so that now they pay the fines. I mean, they pay for the permits. But you find our county askaris just ambush our business people, even without notice. They arrest them. And to make matters worse, like my people of Kangundo, they arrested this minute. In the next 30 minutes, they are somewhere at Machakos in a court. In fact, Honorable Speaker, I would request we devolve the courts so that if business people from Kangundo have been arrested, they are charged within the jurisdiction of where they have been arrested at. Because taking that person from Kangundo to Machakos, and once he's in the cells, you have to get someone else from Kangundo to come and pay for the fine for the person to be released. Honorable Speaker, that is punishment. And I believe the committee and the department can come into agreement on how to handle such measures, such cases. So, Honorable Speaker, again, there is something I wanted the chairman to highlight. There is this issue of quarrying. Honorable Speaker, I would want him to expound, because the committee has stated that based on the public proposals, committee observations and submissions of the CCM, the committee recommends deletion of this section. Honorable Speaker, I think we need to get more information, because quarrying, our county, quarrying is one of the leading revenue sources. So I would want to understand what they meant when they recommend that we need to have deletion of this section. So, Honorable Speaker, I congratulate the committee, and I hope that the executive will work as per the recommendations of the committee. Thank you, sir.
Maybe before we go to Honorable Moffat Maitha, you would like to comment on that issue of querying? Honorable Steve Mwanthi.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, we end a court case over the 2019-2020 Finance Bill, Finance Act, and it was, I believe it was clause 17 that was requested by the courts to be deleted. So we had to do so, Honorable Speaker.
What does it contain? What charges are in that one? Because remember, in querying, we have various charges related to querying. For example, you charge for each truck which goes in there to carry if it's up to a 7-tonner, they are charged, I think, 1,500. Above that, they are charged 2,400. Is that what we are scrapping, or what are we scrapping? Because when you say it is scrapping, it could be interpreted that we are no longer going to be collecting revenue from quarries.
Not really, Honorable Speaker. You see, it was removed from those clauses to SBPs, so we'll be issuing SBPs per trip, as the report is indicating, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, maybe, okay, I think the thing which you might need to find out is we have single business permits which are given to the quarry owners. If this clause is concerning single business permits for quarry owners, then that is something different. But what I'm understanding from the honorable member is that when we say delete a clause, I hope we are still charging the trucks which are going in there. We'll still continue charging them, continue collecting revenue from them. So you might need to be specific and say what is being deleted is this specific item in the finance bill. So that now people don't hear when you say, you know, under quarrying, and they hear delete the clause. I believe that's what the honorable member is saying. It could mean like now we are no longer collecting revenues from the quarries, which is our biggest revenue earner. So I think that's why he's worried.
Honorable Speaker, if you go to page 21, page 21, down there, the last two sentences, you will find that issue addressed, and page 22. All that part talks about that. So it has not been fully deleted, and that the issue, the concern with the honourable member is addressed there. It will be SBP per track, not for the quarry owner, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. I get it now. Okay, that's a good clarification, I think, because it could be construed. Tomorrow you might find those guys of single moved out of there and saying everything is free. Then we would not get any revenue from that. But I think that was the issue. On the outside chamber, can I have Honorable Moffat Maitha?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Moffat Maitha, representing the people of Matungulu West Ward. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the committee through the able chairmanship of Honorable Stephen Mwanthi for a work well done. Honorable Speaker, during some of our trips to check on what the county government is doing about the collection of rents, we went to Mlolongo and the Mudhwane wards. And unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, many buildings in those two wards and the many other wards do not remit a penny as revenue collection, because buildings which have been erected in those areas have no title deeds, and there is no valuation roll done to make sure that they collect rents for our country. Honorable Speaker, also when we visited the quarries, we found out that they have not maximized the revenue collection, because possibly there is an underhand dealings through the county revenue officers. Mr. Speaker, I want to request the county to make sure that bogus revenue collection officers are done away with in some of our wards, including Matungulu West Ward. Mr. Speaker, when we go to Cheleni and areas where we have quarries, when we look at the revenue collected, it does not match with the number of lorries we see passing our roads almost throughout the day and the night. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, something should be done to check on those areas where the county is missing on revenue collections. On hounding of the goods by revenue tax collectors, we want to discourage this one, because when some Mama Mboga and other small business people whose goods have been confiscated by the county officials, Honorable Speaker, it does not augur well with our county, which the county governor says is county number 1 in Kenya. We want peaceful coexistence between the revenue collection officers and the traders in our markets. I support Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Honorable Robert Kisini on the outside chamber.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Robert Kisini, representing the people of the River Ward. Mr. Speaker, I want first of all to thank the committee, the entire committee, and more especially the chairman for coming up with a very good report and the recommendations in it, which some of it have really helped our people, and more especially in my ward at the river. Mr. Speaker, the chairman and the entire committee one time visited my ward because of the cry which was there because of the hike in the business permits. They considered and they spoke with the people of my ward, and at that time they were given a temporary reduction. And then again, the permits went up. But now, as I can see in the recommendations, the chairman has taken the plea of the people of the river while also considering the entire people of the county. I want to thank him for more especially looking at the reduction of the single business permits, which our people are low-income earners, and now they are going to enjoy the benefit of this bill. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, is also, I want also to thank the committee because of looking into consideration the effects of the corona, because we are also, all of us are aware that corona affected most of the businesses. So, Mr. Speaker, it was a good goal, it was a good decision, and I really want to thank the committee for taking care and for coming to the rescue of the people of Machakos, and more especially on the side of single business permit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Cosmas Masesi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Cosmas Masesi. Mr. Speaker, Matungulu East Road, member to this County Assembly, member of Finance Committee, and also the first chairperson, Finance Committee, Second Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to appreciate the leadership of our able chairman, Honorable Stephen Mwanthi. And Mr. Speaker, I would like it to go on record that this is the only finance bill whereby we have made so many deductions. And Mr. Speaker, we took care of the effects caused around by COVID-19. You know, the economy, Mr. Speaker, our people has no money. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the House that we did more than enough consultations with those stakeholders to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have these court issues trying to see if there might be any deductions. Mr. Speaker, again, I want to believe we had enough public participation whereby members came up with all their proposals and they were all taken care of. Mr. Speaker, I just want to echo the sentiments of Honorable Moffat, whereby we have so many revenue clerks who are impersonating to be workers of the county government. Mr. Speaker, Matungulu sub-county is a good example And it is worries us, Mr. Speaker, when the executive comes around Matungulu, these impersonators keep like they are the bodyguards of our governor. And so, Mr. Speaker, it will be hard for the residents, having seen these impersonators acting like security guards for our governor, not to agree that they are county workers. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the House that we have enough streams of revenue. The only challenge, Mr. Speaker, is the amount of how our monies move from the hands of our residents to our bank accounts. And Mr. Speaker, as we know and as per the law, we are on cashless. But things on the ground, Mr. Speaker, are different. A lot of people argue that, our revenue clerks argue that most of the residents don't have money in their M-Pesas, and so they have to take cash, whereby at the end of the day, they'll have to deposit the same and send it to our bank accounts. And there, Mr. Speaker, we are losing a lot of money. So, Mr. Speaker, I just would like to urge the executive and more so the finance department to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, we go cashless, and by that, and by so doing, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that we will be able to gain or even surface our target in terms of local revenue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Cosmas Masesi. Honorable Abdirahman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abdirahman Ali, nominated by Maendeleo Chapter Party. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the committee that gambling slot machines should be increased, the penalties, because it has negative effects to the community. So in this one, I totally agree. If possible also, we might have another motion to disband this kind of machines. The other one is, I agree with Honorable Cosmas Masesi, saying that we have no cash, especially last year when COVID affected the whole world. So many businesses closed, and reducing these charges will also actually help the business to revive or resurface. Finally, a government should always help its people, also create a conducive environment for the business people. When we increase the charges, we collect the revenue, it should go back to the people and bring service to the community. However, we see many places like quarries, like the Honorable Member from Matungulu West, I think, said that when they visited Morolongo, there were no roads done, and those people even refused to pay the revenue back to the government, because they even petitioned the same government that was collecting the revenue. I think the only way is to help the business people, listen to them, see their cries. By reducing this, the committee's recommendation will help also revive, resurface this business, and also bring cash to the people of Machakos County. I support and applaud the committee for the job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdi. Any other member who needs to contribute before I call the mover of the motion to respond? Honorable member for Mwala.
Honorable, your classmate.
I was about to say honorable classmate. Continue, Honorable Kisila.
That's Auntie. Thank you, Bwana Speaker. Thank you very much. I would like to stand. My name is Honorable Brian Kisila, representing the people of Mwala, and I'm a member of this great committee. I've sat in this committee for the last, since we joined this assembly. And I would like to say that this is one of the best bills we have come up with as a committee, because of only one thing. We have listened to our chairman very well. We have put our emotions aside, and we have listened to the public. We have had the highest public participation and the highest public information coming to our committee. And I think this bill is among the best bills we are passing. It is mwananchi friendly, and we are not going to have the issues we had last year of people going to court. So I'd like to commend our chairman, commend all the members for a job well done. And what we want now is for the executive to ensure that they implement this bill. And what Mheshimiwa Maitha said, it is cutting across all the wards. Let the money come to the county. Let no money go to people's pocket, because that's the only way we can grow our revenue. And we have done a lot as a finance committee. We have recommended for vehicles, computers for our staff. And we don't see the reason why the department which is charged with this revenue collection cannot hit or grow the target, even when we have reduced the amounts charged to wananchi. So I stand to support, and I thank our chairman for a good job well done, and all the members of the committee for a fantastic job. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Thomas Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Thomas Mutinda, representing the people of Wamunyu Ward. I start by congratulating the committee and its chairman for a good job done, Mr. Speaker. And let me say, I think, Mr. Speaker, we have a duty to do. In this finance bill, it's where we look for local sources of revenue so that we get taxes from our people and give services again to the people. So there must be a balance at a certain point where, as we do this finance bill, as we pass these taxes, the people pay and the services go back to the people, Mr. Speaker. I think during the 2010 Constitution, there was the need to have the on-source revenue rising day by day or year by year. So far, we have been stagnating on the same, but I think there must be a way of moving up now, where we are getting the fees and charges, and more a notch higher to start getting taxes, Mr. Speaker. I think there's need to have the industrialists, other heavy investors pay more taxes and relieve the farmers down there so that there's some balance as we get services. Remember, Mr. Speaker, we have the donations which come and they are mostly invested in urban areas. So we also need to have more taxes gotten from there so that we have our people have taxes which they can afford. Mr. Speaker, we represent the people's taxes here. And it's important that much as we pass the finance bill, then again we see that we strike a balance and see that the services get back to our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it's a good bill, and I think I support and hope everyone in this house supports it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Thomas. Honorable Annastaciah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Annastaciah Mutuku, representing the great people from Kibauni. Honorable Speaker, I want first to appreciate the chairman of finance. He's a very strong chairman, and his committee, they have done a very good job, and as I see, this bill is very comprehensive. Honorable Speaker, I want just to say that I want to support the recommendation of the committee, because this is the time county government need to take care of our people through budget and the correction revenue, because I think there is a lot of challenges to our people, and I would like to request if there is anything county government can do is to reduce the rates of revenue correction so that the economy, as it's now recovering, our people through their business can also recover. Because we know and we understand the business is very difficult nowadays because of the last year COVID-19. So, Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Honorable Annastaciah, may the mover of the motion kindly respond when we do the third reading. So let me just say that you respond when we do the third reading. Honorable members, I now put the question that the Machakos County Finance Bill 2020, the Machakos County Bill number 4, be now read a second time. I request the clerk to read the short title of the bill. Yeah. As many as other opinions say ayes. Ayes. As many as the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. May the clerk now read the short title of the bill.
The Machakos County Finance Bill 2020.
Thank you, honorable members. Now that we have already finalized with the debate on this bill, and that now next week we shall be able to do the third reading and finalization of the bill, I just want to make one comment before we proceed. Again, personally, from a personal point of view also, this is one of the best bills I've seen on this house, and as far as finance is concerned, it is taking care of the interest of our people, especially COVID-19, post-COVID-19. We are seeing COVID-19, post-COVID-19. Sometimes, honorable members, you must go back one step so that you can be able to move forward. Those of us who drive, those of you who drive know that sometimes when you are stuck, you must go on reverse gear first, then you put first gear and you can be able to proceed. COVID has made that stuck, and we have to go back so that we can be able to give our people the opportunity to revitalize their businesses and to be able to move forward in view of these very hard challenges which we are facing. Honorable Thomas Mutinda has made a very important observation that even as we do this, there must be a balance between what we are charging our people, the revenue they are paying, and service delivery. If somebody is taxed or pays a charge, they expect to see the service. We have been, for example, collecting water charges, sewer charges, firefighting charges, and the people don't see those services at the end of the day, then you are bound to get a pushback from the people when that one comes. On revenue targets, which had been set in the, I believe when we do the supplementary budget, they'll have to be revised in tandem of these revisions which have been made on revenue collection. And also, when it comes to projects, would be recommending that we concentrate more on ward projects and try and slow down on the huge projects because the revenue has been affected. When revenue is affected, if you have got little revenue coming in, then you try to stop the big projects and concentrate on small projects which can be finished with the funds which are available. That would be important. The other point I've had is on the valuation roll. It's unfortunate that now we are saying in Mulolongo people are not paying anything because they don't have title deeds, and therefore there are no rates which are being charged. And you can imagine how many houses are in Mulolongo at River. And if they are not paying simply because of lack of a valuation roll, I will request the chair to work with the chair budget and at least ensure that we do a valuation roll before we leave this assembly. We only have one more budget to do, and if there is anything which that budget should do, should be to do a valuation roll so that the county can start earning revenue of what the proper revenue of what it deserves. If all those people who are staying, and 90% of the people who stay in those areas are foreigners, they come from Nairobi, they come from everywhere else, and since they are not title deeds, they are not paying anything, that is a little bit discouraging. We talked about the bogus, and I have learned something today. What Honorable Cosmas Masesi said was interesting, that when our governor, His Excellency, goes to Kangundo, those areas, those guys pretend to be the bodyguards. They come and pretend to be the ones who are controlling the crowd as His Excellency passes. So once he goes, now they put on the jacket and become revenue. Become revenue collectors. That is important information which needs to pass back to His Excellency and his team to be able to get rid of such people who are really, yeah, I think that is a little bit ingenious. That you are there, then you put, everybody will associate you with the leadership, and that is not good. Then automation. We have talked about automation. I saw something in one of the hotels in Nairobi. They say they have written a big poster outside there. This is a cashless institution. Right at the door, as you enter that hotel, this is a cashless institution. So we need to ensure in our quarries, in our everywhere, we make them cashless. And we actually advertise this as a cashless area. You either go there and pay by card or you pay by M-Pesa. They don't take cash in that hotel. Automation means going that way, ensuring that all services are being paid for in a way which can be able to give accountability. Honorable Kisila said every single penny needs to go to the government so that we can be able to provide the many services which are required of these people, to our people. Thank you, honorable members. The House adjourns to resume again on Tuesday, the 9th day of March, 2021 at 10 a.m. Thank you very much.